How about percent calculation? I think it's relatively easy but also at the same time very important, especially when you have to do with a lot of maths or with business calculations, or especially in statistics. You will probably need it if you have to do with statistics. But I would say in principle it's quite easy. You always say you have a population and you say this population is normalized to 100, since you want to, usually with percent, you want to compare certain populations or certain statistical populations. So what you always want to do is you want to normalize so that you can compare those numbers. And this is the principle behind it. So you always normalize your entire population to 100, and then you can compare a change plus or minus, and you can always compare it through this normalization when you say, okay, entire population is 100, and which part of the 100 is the change. So this is always the interesting point about percent. And I will show you in a second how it works. What is percent calculation? Actually, this is quite important for statistics, and I personally also use it a lot, but it's not too difficult. So what it basically means, percent, like from Latin per, and cent means like per 100. Or of 100, maybe in better English. So of 100. And the thing how to calculate it, or maybe first let's talk about something very similar to percent calculation, which is called per mil. Per mil calculation. Per mil, also from Latin, means per thousand. So what it basically means, like if you have 6%, then we say it's like 6, for example, 6 people of 100 people have blue hair or something. Then we say 6% of the people have blue hair. This is what it means. So it means like 6 of 100, and if we can also divide it, 6 divided by 100. Okay, this is maybe, we don't really need the calculator for that, but it's 0.06, and this means of 100. So this is as a numerical expression, and this is as a percent expression. And yeah, some calculators have maybe a percent button, but I think mine, no, it has one. And yeah, what it basically does, it divides, or actually it multiplies with 100 and says then this is percent. So I do it again. Okay, then it doesn't do it again. But if I have 0.06 and I say I want to have it in percent, then it should multiply with 100. So 6 divided by 100. How did I do it? Exactly, then it multiplies with 100 and says this is your result in percent. So it's not too difficult, you just have to be able to distinguish some values like this 0.06. This is not percent, but this is like the numerical expression, like here. And if you want to have it in percent, you just multiply by 100 and you say, you write this funny expression behind it, which is called the percent sign, whatever. So, how to calculate it? Let's just have a look at an example. For example, 3 of 5. We know maybe 3 of 5 people have red hair. Then, what is the percentage? And the thing, the way how to do it is divide 3 by 5, since we know 5 is 100%, so 5 we say is the total whatever population in this case, and we want to know how many percent, how many percent is 3 of 5, and to obtain this value we divide 3 by 5. In this case it is maybe quite easy, it is 0.6, which means, if we remember the calculator, how it does it, we have it multiplies by 100, so we know this is 60%. if 3 people or 5 people have red hair, then we know 60% of the people have red hair. So it's not too difficult, just remember how it works, like 5 is 100% and 3, how much is 3. Then let's have another example. 4 of 1 works exactly the same. 4 divided by 1 is 4. And if we have 4 times 100, then we have 400%. Right, so this is a 400%. So the bigger part is always assumed to be the 100. And the smaller part is always the question how much percent is all. Also, you can do it the other way around. But the thing is always, you have a smaller part, you have a bigger part, and sometimes you want to know what the bigger part is, sometimes you want to know what the smaller part is. And you can calculate it like this. Just keep in mind, percent means, as I said earlier, of 100. So sometimes, in this case, I know 5 is not 100, but let's assume it would be 100. So how much of 100 is it? Is 3 in this case. So if this is also called in statistics also a sort of normalization, so that I can compare this assumption or this expression with this expression, then I normalize it. So I say the amount I'm referring to is always 100, and so the other part, which is usually smaller, but sometimes it can also be that it is bigger than 100. Like, for example, you have a salary increase by 50%, so before you have 100, afterwards you have 150. So it can also be that it's bigger, but the thing is always the number you're referring to when you already have normalized is 100. So 3 of 5, we normalize the 5 to 100, and then we want to know how much is 3 of the 100. And then you can obtain this by just dividing the one you're looking at by the thing the basis of your calculation. So the basis 3 of 5, so 5 would be the basis. Like 4 of 1, then 1 would be the basis, and then you can calculate how much 4 is of 1. Like if you have, first you have a salary of 1, then afterwards you have a salary of 4, so it is an increase of, or afterwards you can say you have 400%, before you had 100%, and so it's increased by 300%. And the same thing here, maybe before you had a salary of 5, afterwards you have a salary of 3, so what is the percentage or what is the salary afterwards as a percentage of the salary before? In this case, as we calculated, it's 60%. So you can always apply this percent calculation to statistics very well, and this is also, I think, where it is mostly used. So this is how percent calculation works. Thanks for watching. Practice makes perfect. Further exercises with solutions you can find on my website, which is www.worksheeps.com.